Hello, this is Paul with Logix Magazine. Today we're going to take a look at the Siemens PLC simulator. Let's take a look real quick. I don't know if you know about this, but when you're wanting to learn Siemens, let's say you haven't picked up the 1200 Siemens TIA 1200, then because maybe there's a price, there's a price to it, and you don't have the money for that at the moment. There's still a lot of training you can do with their online simulation. It's literally fantastic. I mean, in my opinion, it blows away anything that Rockwell's got. Now, I've been through Rockwell's online training, and it's pretty good, but I really like the Siemens. I want to share that with you today. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at it. Okay, so what I did is I went to their website, found this page, and I'll put the link down below. And they have tons of tutorials and training simulations. This is really pretty cool. But what we're going to do is we're going to configure IP address settings, right? So let's configure the settings.
You configure the network settings for the interface X1. You need to set the IP address and subnet mask for this. Note that the CPU must be in stop state. Open the address settings for the interface X1.
Now, the great thing about this is online and it's free. So let's go ahead and set this up. By the way, this is exactly what a S7 1500 would look like. Exactly the buttons that you have to push in order to make it, to do any of the navigating or configuring on the unit. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to set an IP address, right? So I'm going to go over to the wrench. And it's been a while since I've set the IPs on a 1500, but let's see, addresses. He said set the IP address X1. Okay, we'll go there.
IP address and subnet mask.
IP address. So I'm just going to go down here to this. I don't know how they want me to. Okay, so I gave it an IP address of 192.168.000.001, subnet mask 255.255.255.000. Okay, and that's all he asked for, right? Let's see, IP address and subnet mask. Yep.
You have successfully configured the network settings for the interface X1.
We did it, and I haven't done that in a while, actually. Quite a couple of years, I think, or something like that. So as you can see, it's pretty cool, and we can go down through. So change the display language. We're going to pick another simulation. I really like the fact is I don't have to download no software. I have to necessarily have the hardware, and I'm still learning like on a real processor, and that's what's really cool, what I really like.
You change the language of the display. Open the display settings.
The other thing I like is that it's interactive. It's a tutorial. They're actually teaching you as well. So he said, open the display settings. So that's diagnostics, settings, modules, display. Okay, let's go there.
Change the language for the display.
Change the language there. Okay, so it's giving us Deutsch or English. So we're going to change that to Deutsch. There you go. That's pretty simple, right? All right, so resetting the CPU to factory settings. Now, I know for a fact that this is exactly, like I said, having worked with 1500s for a couple of years, this is exactly the way you have to navigate one of the processors.
In this exercise, you restore the factory settings of the CPU. Open the CPU settings.
Okay, CPU settings, modules, CPU settings.
Restore the factory settings of the CPU.
Restore the factory settings. Reset, maybe? I don't recall what it was. Reset factory defaults. And are you sure?
Confirm the changed CPU settings.
Let's see.
You have successfully reset the CPU to the factory settings.
To the factory settings. Okay. So, as you can see, I think this is pretty cool. Online simulator. And mind you, they got this for all kinds of stuff, all their hardware and all kinds of hardware and software for the Siemens. So it's awesome.
And identify the source of error.
Okay, so in this next right.
Diagnostic alarms of the CPU.
Okay.
The error message.
Notice the diagnostics here with the yellow sign with the black question mark or black exclamation mark and the red. So let's go ahead. We're going to go over here to diagnostics. We're going to find out what's going on. Okay, so we got alarms and follow up on operating mode.
Navigate to the faulty module and read the module status.
Navigate to the faulty module. I don't actually remember how to do this, so bear with me. Escape out of that. Okay, there's the faulty diagnostic buffer, faulty module. Okay, fault, no supply voltage S7. That is where our fault is. Okay, but it's not giving me a. So that's where that's at. Okay, so module, local, slot 2, read the status. Okay, so we've gotten that far.
You have successfully identified the source of error.
Okay, so now we're going to perform a firmware update. Now we're going to do a firmware update. Okay, so open the CPU settings and CPU settings.
Open the firmware update menu command. The firmware update starts automatically on the CPU after a prepared somatic memory card is inserted. Simulate the start with OK. After completion of the update, you will be offered additional options. Display detailed information on the firmware update. You have successfully updated the firmware. On completion of the firmware update, remove the somatic memory card or convert it to a program memory card.
And there you have it, my friends. That is that is where we're going to how you would configure network settings on a Siemens S7 TIA portal with a CPU 1500. It's exactly the way it's done, exactly the way I've done it in real life projects. So I will put the link to this website, to this page here, so you can do this exact same exercise yourself. And then I'll put another link where you can find a whole bunch of additional Siemens online training tutorials for their software and hardware. Okay, so until next time, this is Paul at Logix Magazine. Hey, if this is your first time here, subscribe. And if you want to really grow your automation career, hit that bell so you're notified every single time that we put out a video. And if you have questions, put them down below. I'd love to help you out. So until next time, this is Paul with the Logix Magazine.